Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Intan Ilya Aliaza binti Muhammad Nizam. ID number SIT220700015 and I am from DB2A. So I got question A, which is explain concepts of inflation. So as we all know that Malaysia experienced inflation during the pandemic of COVID-19. So within this period, the commodity price increased because of the producer is unable to produce a lot of product that meet the demand of Malaysia market. So what is inflation? Inflation measures how much expensive a set of goods or services that has become over a certain period, which is usually a year. Inflation occurs when household income increase due to higher wages. So because of the household has a lot of money in their hand, it will also increase the consumer spending. So when the household buy a lot of goods, the goods and services prices will also increase due to a lot of demand. High inflation can be harmful because it can increase the daily expenses of the households. So this may resulting a big impact on the household that has a lower income. On the other hand, too little inflation can also weaken the economy. This is because it can reduce the money circulation in the country. So for example, producer wants a higher profit, but when they had to sell their goods at a lower price, this will cause a small profit to them. So because of this, they will produce a small amount of product. And because of this, the company cannot afford to pay the taxes to the government. And the government will have no power in order to develop the country in terms of money.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Danish Shafiq bin Abdul Aziz. I am from DB2A and my ID number is SIT22070011. I am from Group 4. Question B. In today's video, I will share with you guys about measures to control inflation. There are three types of measures to control inflation, which is contractionary fiscal policy, contractionary monetary policy, and direct control. The first one is contractionary fiscal policy. The government will increase the amount of taxation to decrease the buying power among people. This will help government to control the price of goods by lowering the demand in the market. After that, government can also reduce the government expenditure. In this case, the government needs to start in making a new project as a hospital, school, and much more to prevent from offering more jobs to civilians, as it may lead to increase the buying power among them. It sounds weird, right? Why did the government need to prevent the consumer from buying the product? The answer is, when inflation, the price of the goods are more likely to be higher than usual. So it might be good for the manufacturers, since they can get a lot of profit by selling their product during inflation. But for consumer, it will increase their daily expenditure and it will give a bad impact on low income class, such as they can't afford to buy the foods. If this continues, the price of goods will remain increased since the demand of the goods are still available in market. After that, the government will reduce the expenditure for public goods and services. By public goods and services, I mean building like school, police, and hospital. Imagine if government build a new school, what will happen? They need a teacher to teach the student. But because of this, the government will give salaries to teacher and it will help the teacher to have a more buying power during inflation. And if that teacher buy a lot of goods during inflation, it may lead it into increasing the price of goods to the higher price. The second one, contractionary monetary policy. The central bank reduce the amount of money by increasing the percentage of reserve money. Because of this, it will affect the buying power by tightening the money supply from commercial banks, such as increasing the interest rate higher the percentage for deposit and tightening the condition for applying the loan. Governments needs to make sure that the income and productivity is equivalent. This is because if income increase faster than productivity, it could raise the price of goods due to increase in demand because of higher buying power. On the other hand, if productivity is higher than income, people could not afford the product, and it will lead to surplus and affect the money circulation in the country.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fidan Mesharin. My ID number is SIT 2207070023. I'm from DB2A. So today, I would like to share you about the impact of pandemic COVID-19 issue toward the consumer and business in Malaysia. So the pandemic COVID-19 have an enormous impact of Malaysian economy. As for the example, the numbers of companies that are forced to close due to having a monetary problem, such as Hotel Istana Kuala Lumpur, is totally closed because the pandemic effect. The reason is General Manager Nur Azuddin Omar said the decision to cease the operation came after the proper evaluation of the hotel's viability. He revealed the hotel had lost its competitive advantage over the year. So the second part is the effect of COVID-19 in the tourism aspect. So the first one is COVID-19 has prevented tourism from using hotel and services. Second, the availability of the customer for hotels will decrease due to a few amount of tourists. Third, hotel will have hard time to gain a profit because of lacking income source, which is a tourist. The last one, hotel need to shut down because can't operate as usual due to a problem with the monitoring. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ibrahim Yunus and I'm from DB2A and my ID card number is 220700024. Today I'm going to present the impact of pandemic COVID-19 issues toward the consumer and business in Malaysia. The COVID-19 pandemic and resulting economic fallout caused significant hardship. The Human Resources Ministry reveals that 99,696 Malaysian people have lost their jobs since the implementation of Movement Control Order MCO. Because of this, households' income will less and purchasing power will also decrease. For the impact of consumer, it will give the impact to the company because their demand will also decrease, so they will not get any profit and then consumer will not effort to pay taxes to the government, or worse than that, a few companies declare bankrupt for the government. Because of that, government will have not built or improved to maintain the infrastructure used in a country. That's all for me, Muhammad Ibrahim Yunus. Bye bye.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Christina Patricia Bintu Nur Azman, SIT 220700048 from DB2A. Thus, the company couldn't pay the taxes to government such as company tax. What is tax? Tax is simply defined as the government source of income administered through a tax system that imposes compulsory financial charges on taxpayers in order to fund various public expenditure. The infographic given is a proof that Malaysia had to face with bad economic state during COVID-19. To prevent this, Malaysia's government has used an expansionary fiscal policy method to prevent and reduce the inflation ratio before getting higher. As shown, the tax had been reduced by government to 67%. With this method, Malaysia can stabilize the inflation effect. Furthermore, Malaysia's economy will not operate as full employment because all potential employees doesn't have a job and couldn't committed to the Malaysia's economy. Thanks for listening.